Imagine giving your whole heart to someone, pouring every bit of your soul into them, only to watch them walk away like you never mattered. That devastating feeling, that emptiness, it's a pain that can change a person forever. Today, we're diving into a story that starts right there, in that pit of despair. But trust me, it doesn't end there. Life has a wicked way of flipping the script, of turning the tables when you least expect it. This is the story of a man who was left broken, shattered into a million pieces. He was told he wasn't enough, that his dreams were too small, that his future was a dead end. He watched the woman he loved, the woman he thought was his everything, turn her back on him for a life of glamour and wealth. He was left with nothing but a broken heart and a burning desire to prove everyone wrong. So, what did he do? Did he wallow in sadness? No, he channeled that pain, that rejection, into fuel. He poured every waking hour into building an empire from scratch. He worked while others slept. He pushed when others gave up. He transformed himself from the man who was left behind into a man no one could ignore. He became powerful, wealthy, and respected everything she thought he could never be. Years passed, the memory of her faded, but the scar remained. Then one day, a twist of fate brings them face to face again. He's no longer the boy she left behind. He's a king in his own right, a force of nature, and she, well, her life of glamour wasn't what it seemed. The man she chose turned out to be a hollow promise, leaving her with regrets and what-ifs. Now he stands before her, a changed man. The power dynamic has completely shifted. He could have his revenge. He could walk away, just like she did, and leave her with a taste of her own medicine. He has every reason to. He could make her feel as small as she once made him feel. The world is at his feet, and he could have any woman he wants. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Because through all the success, all the power, all the years, there was one thing he could never forget. Her, the black woman who broke his heart but also set him on this path. The one who, despite everything, still held a piece of his soul. So, what happens now? Does he choose revenge, or does he choose the one thing his heart has secretly longed for all this time? Is this a second chance at a love that was written in the stars, or is it the final chapter of a painful lesson? This isn't just a simple love story, it's a comeback. It's a revenge arc. It's about a destiny that refuses to be denied. You're about to witness a powerful story of love, loss, and the sweet, sweet taste of redemption. Stick around because this story is just getting started, and you won't want to miss a single moment of what happens next. Make sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on, because this is a journey you'll want to see through to the very end. Thanks for watching, and let's dive in. He left at 15 with a shattered heart. He returned at 30 with a billion-dollar legacy and one black woman still rooted in his soul. Charlotte, Texas, forever carried the faint scent of roasted coffee and sun-warmed pavement to details Hudson Holt could never erase. No matter how many cities he conquered or boardrooms he dominated, he always swore that Charlotte breathed with its own pulse, one that once matched the heartbeat of a girl who made forever seem small enough to fit in two young hands. Back then, he had been just a 15-year-old boy tool, awkward, hopeful, teetering between adolescence and adulthood. And she, Vanna Young, was the 12-year-old artist who could create entire universes with nothing but a pencil and a wrinkled sheet of paper. Their story began in the most unremarkable place imaginable, a packed church hall overflowing with teenagers, practicing for the annual youth program. Hudson Holt, Vanna Young, the coordinator called out, squinting at a clipboard. "You two will perform the spoken word piece." Hudson glanced around, unsure of whom he was supposed to approach until he spotted her by the window. Her braids draped over her shoulders, her sketchbook tucked protectively under her arm. She lifted a hand shyly. He walked toward her, trying hard to mask his nerves. "You're Vanna?" he asked softly. She nodded. "And you're Hudson?" "Yeah," he said, smiling nervously. "Nice to meet you." Her smile, warm and small, struck him in the chest like sunlight. "Nice to meet you too." From that very first practice, something between them just aligned. They memorized lines together, matched rhythms, and burst into laughter every time Hudson fumbled, which was often. Vanna always encouraged him. "You just need to breathe," she told him gently, laying a hand on his wrist. He stared at her touch like it was a blessing. "I do breathe." "You breathe loud and panicky," she teased. "But it's okay. I'll help you." And she did every single day. After rehearsals, he began walking her home. At first out of courtesy, then because he simply couldn't stop himself. Her dad's cafe, Young's Coffee Cove, sat on the corner near the church, filled always with warmth, cinnamon buns, and foggy windows. Mr. Young welcomed Hudson from the very beginning. "Young Holt," he'd chuckle. "Back again to wipe out my hot chocolate supply." Hudson would grin, sliding into Vanna's usual booth while she sketched him without permission, penciled moving across the page like it possessed its own rhythm. One day, she pushed a drawing toward him. It was him, hunched over homework, focused and serious. "He made me look better than I do," he whispered. "You just don't see yourself the way I see you," she replied. That was the first day he called her my Black Queen. His voice was soft, reverent, like the words were too sacred for him. "Why would you call me that?" she asked, cheeks turning warm. "Because you're beautiful," he murmured. "Strong, brilliant. Queens are all of that." She stared at him, stunned into silence. From then on, they were inseparable: church events, the cafe, long walks home, whispered dreams under streetlights. Hudson told her he wanted to build something world-changing someday. Vanna said she wanted to help children see their own beauty through art. "You will," he assured her. "You're going to change everything." And she believed him always. But the world they lived in wasn't nearly as innocent as their hearts, especially not the Holt family's world. Hudson's parents were billionaire wealthy. His father ran Holt Industries, one of Texas's largest aerospace manufacturers. His mother graced society magazines and charity galas, always dressed like she stepped directly out of luxury. Vanna lived in a completely different reality: single-income household. Long hours, hand-painted open signs at the cafe, and she was, like the Holts, weren't openly hateful, just quietly, uncomfortably prejudiced, hiding disapproval behind phrases like "it's not appropriate" and "different backgrounds don't mix." When they realized Hudson was drawn to Vanna, like she was the Earth's axis, they panicked. They called in private school advisors, leveraged favors with university officials, whispered plans late at night. And one afternoon, Hudson came home to a letter, a full scholarship to an elite engineering program in Austin. 3 cities away. His parents celebrated. He felt sick. He knew exactly what it meant. The night before he had to leave, he walked to Young's Coffee Cove. Vanna was cleaning with her father when she saw his tearful face. Her heart dropped. "What happened?" she whispered. "My parents. They're sending me to Austin," he said, voice cracking. "I'll leave tomorrow." She froze. "Tomorrow? I thought you were staying for senior year." "I thought so, too," he whispered. "I don't want to go." Her father gave them privacy. "So this is goodbye," she whispered. "No." He shook his head sharply. "No, Vanna, I'm coming back. I swear it. On everything," she cried softly. "Don't make promises you can't keep." "I will always find my way back to you," he whispered, guiding a hand to his chest. "Always." Their first hug held goodbye and eternity in equal measure. Austin was fast, bright, and cold in ways Charlotte never was. His parents expanded their empire, opening a massive branch of Holt Innovations, drawing engineers from across the globe. Hudson rose quickly: project lead, young executive, future VP. But while his resume soared, his personal life froze. He never dated, never entertained the glamorous daughters his mother introduced, never allowed anyone near the part of him that still belonged to a girl with braids and a sketchbook. Every birthday he wondered what Vanna was doing. Every holiday he thought of the cafe. Every night he whispered the same promise into glittering windows: "I'll come back for you." But 15 years slipped away. He gained everything, except the one thing he needed. Weeks before turning 30, Hudson realized with bone-deep clarity that he had built a life that felt powerful yet empty. He thought of Vanna, her laughter, her drawings, her faith in him. He couldn't take it anymore. During breakfast, as his mother listed gala attendees, he stood, took his keys, and left Austin. To drive toward Charlotte felt like traveling back through time. And then he saw it. Young's Coffee Cove, same bricks, same faded awning, same cinnamon coffee warmth. Mr. Young looked up, stunned. "Hudson Holt." Hudson smiled tightly. "Hi, Mr. Young. She always hoped you'd return," Mr. Young said quietly. "She did," Hudson whispered. "Every year." He wrote an address on a coffee sleeve. "Go, she'll want to see you." Hudson's hand trembled as he held the slip. The Children's Art Center was alive with murals and laughter. And there she was, helping a little girl wash paint off her hands. Her features were older, softer, stronger. His breath caught Vanna Young. She looked up. Their eyes met. Her expression shifted slowly from confusion to shock to disbelief. "Hudson," she whispered. "Hi, Vanna." The brush slipped from her fingers. She approached him like she wasn't sure he was real. A trembling hand brushed his jaw. "You came back. I promised," he said, voice trembling. "I thought you forgot me." "Not one day," he whispered. They talked for hours, a connection immediate and electric. As the sun set, he asked quietly, "Vanna, my 30th birthday is in 2 weeks. I want you there." She hesitated. "Hudson, your parents never wanted." "I don't care," he cut in firmly. "I want you. I want us." She nodded. But fear lingered. Fear that his cold, wealthy, judgmental world would shatter her again. Austin gleamed with power that night. The Holt mansion glowed like a castle as limousines arrived for Hudson's birthday gala. Inside, chandeliers sparkled above guests dripping in couture. His parents mingled, proud, polished. Hudson stood near the entrance, waiting, watching every car. His heart lodged in his throat when a simple black sedan pulled in. Vanna stepped out, breathtaking and emerald. Her skin glowed under soft lights. Her curls framed her face perfectly. She felt out of place, but she came for him. Hudson forgot to breathe. He crossed the room instantly, ignoring whispers. "Hudson should breathe." "Vanno," he whispered, taking her hand. "You're stunning." His parents froze when they saw her. "Who is that?" his mother murmured. Hudson ignored their confusion and led Vanna through the room, introducing her proudly. "This is Vanna Young. She's incredibly important to me." Some guests smiled. Others didn't. He never let go of her hand. When the last guest left, he squeezed her hand. "Stay, I need to talk to my parents." She nodded. That asterisk in his father's study. Everything fell apart. "What was that display?" his father snapped. Hudson's voice chilled. "Don't finish that sentence." His mother softened her tone. "Hudson, darling, her world and yours. What exactly is she to you?" His father demanded. Hudson inhaled deeply. "The woman I love," he said. "The woman I'm going to marry." Silence cracked the air. "Hudson, be serious," his mother insisted. "I am." His father's voice thundered. "If you choose her, you lose everything." Hudson blinked slowly. "The inheritance, the company, the estate, every advantage. Gone." His mother whispered. "We're protecting your future. That girl has nothing, and mixing families enough," he snapped. "Asterisk, I'd rather be poor with her," he said quietly. Then, rich without her. What he didn't know was that Vanna stood outside the barely closed door, hearing every word. She slipped away silently, tears pouring. She approached Mr. Thomas in the foyer. "Miss, are you all right?" he asked softly. "No," she whispered, "but I'll be once I leave. Shall I tell Mr. Holt?" She shook her head. "Just tell him I'm sorry." By the time Hudson left the study, she was gone. And when Mr. Thomas delivered her message, Hudson walked straight upstairs, grabbed a duffel bag, left the mansion, and didn't look back. He drove through the night until dawn broke over Charlotte. Vanna sat on her porch steps, face streaked with tears. "Hudson, why are you here?" He cupped her face and kissed her forehead. "I didn't lose anything," he said softly. "I found you," she broke, sobbing. "Your parents sure his whole life." He shook his head. "They can keep it. I don't need any of it." And that was the beginning of their news story. Hudson moved into a tiny apartment near the art center. He traded boardrooms for paint buckets, luxury cars for community events. He repaired furniture, organized donations, made kids laugh until they chased him like ducklings. Parents adored him. Vanna loved him even more. Together they grew the set. New classrooms, robotics, spaces. The media caught wind. Billionaire air scene painting walls at local children's center. Hudson Holt leaves corporate world for community work. The Holts saw it. They saw his smile, his joy, his freedom. One evening his phone buzzed. His mother, "Hudson." She whispered, "May we see you?" His father came on. "We were wrong. She's extraordinary. You may marry whoever you choose. Please come home." Hudson's eyes filled. He looked at Vanna, who squeezed his hand gently. The next morning he carried a velvet ring box into the art center. Children scampered around him. Paint and laughter filled the air. Vanna looked up, eyes catching his. She dismissed the kids softly and approached him. Hudson sank to one knee on the paint-splattered floor. "Vanna Young," he whispered, voice shaking. "You were the first person who ever truly saw me. Not my name, not my future, just me." He opened the box, star-shaped diamond shimmering. "You've always been my heart, my black queen. Will you let me love you for the rest of my life?" She sobbed and nodded. "Yes, Hudson, yes." Their embrace was full of 15 years of longing finally dissolving. Wedding planning was delicate. Families from separate worlds, learning to blend but slowly. Beautifully, it happened. Hudson's mother funded the cafe's expansion. His father donated supplies to the art center. The ice slowly melted. Their wedding held in a restored greenhouse glowing with vines and golden light. Felt like stepping into a dream. Hudson cried the moment he saw her walking toward him. "You're crying," she whispered. "You're perfect," he said, voice breaking. Their vows were full of laughter and tears. Their kiss sealed not just a marriage but a miracle. For their honeymoon, the Colorado mountains welcomed them with crisp air and quiet peace. Vanna painted landscapes. Hudson sketched her painting. They hiked, they laughed, they talked late into firelit nights. And for the first time in their lives, forever didn't feel like a promise they made. It felt like a life they were building.